What's up, guys? Welcome to Southern Hike. It's me, Taylor, not Rachel, and I am doing a solo hike tonight at our local trail, Pine Mountain Trail. You see us go here a lot. Rachel is out of town this weekend. Just going to go out there. I've got some new cooking gear, new mess gear that I'm going to test out, and I'm going to go ahead and go down to Sparks Creek. I have never camped here. I've camped a lot of places at Pine Mountain Trail, but everybody talks about Sparks Creek, and I was able to get this site tonight, so I'm going to go check it out and venture along with me as I go see what we're going to get into. I've got a nice ribeye I'm going to cook at the fire tonight, so I'm excited about that. But I came here right after work, so I'm kind of running out of daylight, so I've got at least a couple hours, and it's about a mile away. So let's go ahead and get on the trail and get to the site.
So to keep it simple, I parked at Rocky Point right here, came all the way down. Like I said, this is not part of a loop. Then you got the first one, which is going to be Big Oak Spring campsite, and then the second one right here is Sparks Creek. So it's only like right at a mile to get here, and this is where we're at tonight.
Definitely loaded up tonight. I am at the Rocky Point trailhead. I have never actually parked overnight at this trailhead because usually I use the tower or I'm coming from the other end like at Dowdell's Knob down there. But it looks like I'm the only car at Rocky Point tonight, and we've had some recent car break-ins around here, so I made sure I ain't got nothing of anything value inside my truck. So let's hope for the best on that. If you're coming here, just FYI, that happens a lot, but it usually happens to cars that leave valuable items visible. Made sure I got everything out of anything value. If it does happen, they're not going to go away with anything, really. Let's get on trail. So right after you get off the trailhead and come up, you'll meet a split where the PMT goes back towards the country store, and then that way will take you down the Beaver Pond trail, and that way loops back if you're doing the Wolf Den loop. But tonight we will go on the PMT, and it's actually like there's none of these are part. If you've watched some of our loop videos, this is one part of the trail that you can't technically do in a loop. You can do this part as a trail as an in and out, but as you've seen on the map, you can only do it that way. It doesn't actually contribute to any of the loops on the Pine Mountain Trail. So I'm a huge fan of winter hikes because I'm a major sweater, and here in Georgia, it's not like up north or out west. Humidity is awful in the summertime. You've heard me talk about that in a lot of our videos, and so winter hikes for us are a lot better because it doesn't get super cold here. You might have really cold mornings. During the day, it's always just a manageable temperature, and especially if you're on trail and you're warm, it's not that big of a deal. So I always enjoy it. But the one downside of winter hikes here is that you lose all the foliage, you lose all your canopy. And I talk about in the through hike we did just recently, that the sun beats you up without the canopy, and also it's very hard to film because the sun just blows out everything. But I love how much the foliage just looks so good to the eye. It looks good on camera, so it just makes a good image, and it's great for taking pictures too. So that's my point, is I do like winter hiking because it's not so hot and humid, but at the same time you do get some more pretty views and feel like a more natural setting and not so dreary of the winter look. So we are at Big Oak. I don't know why I just lost the name. Big Oak Springs campsite. I can't see anybody from here, but it would obviously be a through hiker, or they spurred off from another parking lot, because I was the only one parked at Rocky Point and it's already pretty late. But that is another campsite that's pretty close to me tonight, because I'm not far from Sparks Creek. But it's another good spot. You're not too far from water, and it's another enjoyable pretty spot down in this bottom. So we have made it to Sparks Creek, and I've been by this site before. I forgot about it actually, and then when I did this through hike a couple months ago, I was like, dang, I forgot about that site. And then Senior Hiker 77, this is one of his favorite spots. Check out his channel, I'll link it above. But I've wanted to camp here, and this site is always taken for me. I always catch it at the wrong time when we're trying to come here. So I finally got it one night, and of course Rachel's not here to enjoy it with me, but she'll be here next time. And we're gonna go ahead and get set up, get our tent set up. It's definitely a nice flat spot, and of course you got Sparks Creek right back there. I don't think you can see it too much from here, but perfect water source. Ideal conditions here, definitely for a tent dweller like me, or if you're a hammock person. There is tons of room for everybody. Definitely can have a, like, not a huge crowd, but definitely group of backpackers. Perfect fire pit, and there's actually even like a bench here, but I brought the chair tonight. I'm definitely gonna break it out still. It's just super comfortable. Let's just go ahead and do some camp chores and get everything set up. So I'm bringing out the trusty old Nemo, and if you watch one of my previous videos, I'll link it above. I don't know which one I grabbed, but I know one of these had a hole in it before and I patched it, and this is the first time actually testing it. I do know I patched it overnight at the house and did not have any leakage out of it, but I also was not laying on it. So let's hope the patch worked. I think it will. It was a very small pinhole, and that patch should have took care of it. So I can confirm that I do have the pad that has the patch on it. So we definitely will be putting to the test tonight and see if that patch worked. Let's really hope it does. But it's a good bed right here at Sparks Creek, so I'm not too worried if I have to sleep a little bit on the ground, but I'm really hoping I don't. I'll definitely go ahead and show you this patch now. You can see where I was trying to like find it originally, and then I used the actual patch that came with it. I didn't use a gear aid patch, but I kind of X'd it where it was right. It was a super small pinhole. Like, you could barely hear it once it was in the water. You could see it though. Well, let's hope this took care of the problem. All right, got my pad, sleeping bag, and then my tent. This is the Nemo Tensor. No, excuse me, not Nemo Tensor. This is the Nemo Dagger 2P. I went with this one because yes, it's a little bit bigger. Yes, it has bigger vestibules, but I always go backpacking my wife most of the time, so it's important we have that extra room, and it gives you just a few more inches on each side, unlike the Hornet, which it's less weight, but you don't have as much room. So this one works perfect for us. Rachel is very small, so it's not an issue at all, and I'm at about 6 foot, 190 pounds, so this Dagger works out pretty well. It's been a really good tent so far, and we enjoy it. I haven't talked about it on the channel much, but it's a really good tent, and we enjoy it. I'm really happy with my Nemo Tensor, even though it got a leak in it, but I went ahead and got one of their tents because I'm just really happy with the product they make, and I'm enjoying this tent. tent so far. It's not too hard to pitch either. Anyways, I didn't bring my quilt tonight. They say it's gonna get down to the high or low 50s tonight, but I decided to go ahead and bring a sleeping bag just in case it got even cooler, because the sun did not come out much today, so it might get cooler than they originally predicted it would. So I wanted to go ahead and bring a 20-degree sleeping bag, and we'll just see. That way, if it does get a little warm, I can go ahead and just back it off. I didn't bring too many layers with me because I don't think it's gonna get that cold, but I went ahead and at least brought a sleeping bag for some cooler temperatures because my quilt's a 40 degree, so I didn't want to test it out tonight. They did leave me some wood. Whoever was here last, I appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and fetch some more though. There's definitely a lot more up trail. If I don't find any around here, it's a popular site, so I'm worried that probably gonna have to do some like going out pretty far to fetch some wood, but it shouldn't take me too long. I still got good light, and then go ahead and get supper started. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get a good pile before it starts getting dark. All right, I fetched some wood, and now I'm gonna go ahead and use my pyro putty. You've heard me talk about it. I don't think it's gonna focus on. There we go. Pyro putty on our fires, especially in the last few we've had. This is the first fire I'll be doing backpacking in like 3 trips where everything is not soaking wet, but I'm still gonna use it because it just makes things go really fast. It's cheap and it works really well. Not sponsored by them, but I'm just excited to use this stuff, even though you can make some homemade different types of petroleum jelly and cotton, stuff like that, but this stuff just works really well and it makes it easier to get a fire started, so I can go ahead and get cooking. Alright guys, let's talk about dinner. I'm excited for this, definitely getting hungry. So, I actually just found out about this company. They are Evergreen Adventure Foods. They're out of Peachtree City, Georgia, not far from where we live, and it was super exciting to hear about a backpacking meal company that was close to home. There's honestly not a lot of places in Georgia. They're kind of like cottage companies, things like that. So it was exciting to find somebody's local, and then they have a big vision about Leave No Trace. They work with Darwin as part of his, Give a Shit campaign, and then also about the Smoky Mountains and try to keep the Smoky Mountains clean. So I really respect what they're doing. Definitely agree that we should leave no trace for sure. So this is they don't have many meals out right now, but I assume they're gonna be doing more. This is their lentil stew. Since I'm doing the ribeye tonight, I wanted to go ahead and, if that's gonna focus, wanted to do something a little simpler to go with my ribeye. So this is only gonna be about 380 calories total, so it'll go good with the ribeye. Still be like 1,000, even though I don't need it for just an overnight trip. I'm gonna go ahead and get working on the ribeye first. Well, I actually might boil this first, because this says it's gonna take about 15 minutes to wait for it to actually rehydrate. So I might go ahead and boil the water for this first and then start working on the ribeye. Brought the old handy dandy pocket rocket tonight and my 650 liter pot from Tokes. The good thing about the titanium though is it cools back off really quick. Yeah, that's just enough. Woo. So it is true it uses extra water because it is a stew, so it's not going to exactly absorb it all. It's time to cook a ribeye. This is my ribeye here. This was an extra we had from a get-together, and I figured put it to use sometime, and look, I did tonight. It should be just about thawed out now. I had it frozen all day, and then I took it out right before I left to come on the trail. A little bit of seasoning. So I listened to another video. I got this kit from GSR, and it comes with a little seasoning, tongs, and stuff like that. Check that video out. I'll link it above. It'll probably come out after this video. This is my first time doing a steak in a skillet, so we will see what happens. Got a little Montreal steak seasoning on the other side. It's open. See if it'll come out. Yeah, it will. Sweet. I used a little olive oil, so this ought to be pretty good. Oh yeah. I like it about medium. That's what we're gonna shoot for. All right, so I brought a little, like, this actually came from Walmart. I don't know if it branded at all. I don't know, like this little platter. I've had it for like forever. And I was like, well, this will be a good night to use it. I'll go ahead and put my steak on there, which looks divine right now. I'm starving. I ate a very small lunch today. Oh yeah, I'm hungry. And my skillet's trying to run away from me. Dinner is served. Still waiting on my stew. Got about 5 more minutes on it. Comes with these like spoons and forks. Like guys, I would never use this setup if I was like doing a multi-night, but since I'm only like a mile in, super easy. I can bring a lot of extra junk, luxury items, and just have a little fun. Let me cut it up. We'll see what it looks like. The knife actually does pretty well, so I assume it's pretty tender. Took out most of the pink, but it's pretty thin, so it's really hard unless you just want to eat it raw. There's a little bit in there that I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but let's try it out. You don't get that every time you go backpacking. Oh man, that is excellent. Got about another 3 or 4 minutes on the stew. I'm not gonna lie, a good cold IPA would go great with this right now. But at all Georgia state parks, no alcohol. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure all Georgia state parks, so FYI, do not bring alcohol here. It was nice in the Smokies to be able to bring some craft beer with us, but not in this state park. All right, let's try the stew. It definitely actually absorbed all that water. I didn't think it would since it was a stew, but it absorbed most of it. Still very hot, that's for sure. Let me go ahead and stir it. Smells very herby, which isn't bad. Probably cut this steak up and stick it in here with it. It'd be really good. That's what it looks like. I don't know if they'll focus on that. It's trying to focus on my eye. Let me go like this. Ah. It's definitely very light. Not much, what's the right word? Like, thickness to it. It does have a really good flavor though. That's not bad. Definitely a little more fancy than your typical Mountain House meal. And definitely a lot better for you, I'm sure. This is a lot of organic stuff in here. Matter of fact, does it say it's organic? Yes, this is organic. So there's 20 grams of protein and it's all plant-based. Getting fancy on this trip. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy my dinner, and then for supper, or not supper, for dessert, we got a big old Snickers bar I picked up at the grocery store. So I'm definitely excited about that. Got a huge meal here to eat and enjoy. Just enjoy this beautiful evening. It's definitely cooling off, feels great. The fire is just perfect. Staying at the distance I am, keeping me warm, but it's nice to not be too hot for a spring Georgia day. But definitely excited to eat this and enjoy the rest of my food. Actually surprised my camera was able to pick me up at all. I just been enjoying this fire. I ain't gonna lie, I miss my wife, because the joy of having a partner who always comes with you, who always backpacks with you, is you always got someone who enjoy the campfire with. So kicking it solo tonight, miss you babe, and just listen to some podcasts, just enjoying this peaceful night. It's amazing how quiet it gets here at night, but it kind of gets creepish quiet sometimes because you hear everything in the woods, but no biggie. But got a great roasting fire going. Luckily, it's pretty dry. We haven't had rain in a few days, so that definitely helps out a lot. Fire is burning very well, and the wood is picking up flame very easy. But just killed that Snickers bar, and I killed the big dinner. I am like super full. It's almost 9 o'clock, and it's probably getting down in the high 50s right now, low 60s, but just enjoying this, and probably will go to bed at a decent time, definitely a backpacker's bedtime, and get on up with the sunrise. All right, guys, it is 10 o'clock now. Actually, yeah, right around 10. Have gotten in my tent, went to the restroom one last time. I'm sure I'll have to go in the middle of the night, as I always do. But just enjoyed my time around the fire, just hanging out here on my own. I've probably listened to like 4 different podcasts now, but definitely getting tired. It's been a long day already. I worked all day and then hiked out here and just been enjoying my evening here and had a great evening kicking it solo. And I will see y'all in the morning. Good morning. It is, let's see, it's 10 after 7, and slept pretty well. Still trying to wake up a little bit. I turned over a few different times, but the only thing I was worried about is that, well, not really worried about it because I had everything covered up, but like right when I laid down, right around like a little after 10, I talked to y'all last night, I noticed right when I laid down that it was kind of like a sprinkling on the tent. And I was like, oh Lord, what is that? So I went ahead and looked at the weather, and they were calling for like an 80% chance of a small shower in the next hour. Like, I had left a few different things that I didn't care about condensation getting on. I left them sitting on the bench out here. So I had to get back out of my sleeping bag, go get all that, put it in the tent. I'm not sure if it ever actually rained a little bit. I honestly passed out right after that. But yeah, always getting into your sleeping bag and then having to get right back out. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything. I already got my sleeping bag and sleeping pad put back in my bag. I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy some coffee because I really need it this morning, and then I've got some, I think it's like banana oatmeal or something like that. We'll go ahead and check it out and see how it is. I forgot I had some Sour Patch Kids that I never ate last night. So this came in this Right on Trek kit that I'd gotten. It's a cool little company that actually does like your whole meal loadout for the day. So you tell them how many days you're gonna be on the trail, and they will, based on calorie count, do an entire day worth of snacks, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Kind of give you everything, and you can pick different options. Pretty cool. I'll link it below. I tried it out, and then the trip we had planned to use it on, we didn't get to go, so now I'm just using everything out of it for different stuff. This was the coffee they gave me, and I thought it was like a Vietnamese, yeah, product from Vietnam. So gonna try that out this morning to see if it's any good. It's an instant coffee. And then this is from Right on Trek. This is their banana bread oatmeal. I'm excited about this. This sounds good. Hopefully it is good, so we're gonna test it out. Got the little 450 milliliter Tokes pot, and I don't have any hot lips, but I'm gonna let it just cool off enough to where I can go ahead and drink it without burning my lips. Believe it or not, I am actually a coffee snob. I love coffee, especially good organic coffee. So I can be picky, but honestly, when I'm on the trail, I don't have to be. I'll definitely drink coffee at the other end of the spectrum. As long as it's got some caffeine in it, I'm happy. It smells good so far, so we'll let that cool off for a minute and go ahead and get the banana oatmeal ready. This is like the first time in a while I've actually had to boil something while the food was in it. So usually like the dehydrated meals because you have the package you can actually drink everything out of, or excuse me, eat everything out of. So it says add all ingredients to about 7 ounces of water. It says bring to medium heat and stir for a boil, and stir for 3 minutes and then let cool 3 minutes and then let cool for 3 minutes. All right, now it says let it sit for 3 minutes, so that's what we'll do. It's thickened up a little bit for sure. Oh yeah, it's got a nice, like, it's like chunks of banana, but like a nice cinnamon smell to it too. I'm kind of excited about it. I really hope it's good. Hot still. Whoa, that is hot. The titanium did not disperse that heat fast as I thought it would. It's pretty good. It isn't as strong flavor as I was hoping it would be, but it's pretty good. Let's try this coffee. It's not bad. It doesn't have much flavor though. It's not too bad. Guys, I'm all packed up and ready to head back to the truck. It was a great evening, went really well. I was able to used up some food that I needed to use up, and had a great ribeye. Just enjoyed this evening. Ready to get back to the truck now, get home, and go ahead and get a shower in, and start this. Looks like it's gonna be a really pretty Saturday. So I will see y'all at the truck. The fun of spring and summer, I think every spider that made his web this morning or her on the trail, I have collected, because I feel like a big spider web right now. But I ain't even worried about them, just walking through them, but one after another I've hit spider webs. So yeah, lovely way to spend your morning. Alright guys, I have made it back to the truck. Everything's good to go. I'm headed to the house to get cleaned up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like it if you did. And guys, I just enjoy being out here on the trail and using some of the techniques that I've taught in my videos and showing you that I use them myself. Just enjoy being out here. Again, hope you enjoyed this video. Guys, make sure to like it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new here and you enjoyed this video. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next week.